GitHub Advanced Security now supports the ability to scan your code for vulnerability from third-party CI systems, while before this was exclusively available in GitHub Actions. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use GitHub Code Scanning to scan our GitHub repo from Azure DevOps Pipelines. Hi everybody and welcome back to CoderDave. Today we're going to talk about GitHub Code Scanning and how to use it from within Azure DevOps Pipelines. If you want to know more about GitHub Code Scanning in general and how to enable the default experience from GitHub, check the link in the video description and up here, because I've already published a video recently in which I go through the basic details of that service. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and if you want to know more about DevOps, especially with Azure DevOps and GitHub, just click on the subscribe button below right now and turn on the notifications so you will not miss any new video. Alright, as I mentioned before, rather than using the default GitHub Action experience for setting up your code scanning in GitHub, today we're going to use Azure DevOps Pipeline to scan a GitHub repo. First of all, I have this repo over here in GitHub that is a Node.js application. And if we go to the Security tab, we can see that there are no code scanning alerts, also because GitHub Code Scanning hasn't been enabled and executed yet. Let's take a look at the steps we need to perform in order to integrate the GitHub Advanced Security for code scanning into Azure DevOps. First thing is downloading the latest CodeQL dependencies on our agent. Then we need to give the CodeQL access to our repository and initialize the CodeQL executable and create a queryable DB. And finally, we will need to scan our application. After that, the results will be uploaded to GitHub, and that means that we will be able to go to the GitHub interface to review the results of the scan. And we can also customize our scanning further if we want to. Since the Azure Pipelines agent I'm using is ephemeral, because I'm using the hosted agents, I'll need to install the CodeQL package every time I execute a pipeline run. However, if you're using the self-hosted agent, I would encourage you to pre-install the package so you will save time and resources. Alright, into Azure Pipelines. Here we have the pipeline that is connected to that GitHub repo. As you can see, the only thing it does is installing Node.js and install and test the dependencies. First thing we have to do, as we have seen in the list of steps, is to download the latest CodeQL dependencies on my agent. To do so, let's add this script. And since this pipeline runs on Linux, using wget and targeting the latest Linux release, I can download all necessary files to my directory. And here I also need to change the permission for the downloaded file before I can run it. Next, we need to give that pipeline full access to our repo. So we need to create a GitHub personal access token. To create a path, just go to the settings in your account, developer settings, personal access tokens, and generate a new token. Let's call it CodeQL ASDO. And let's talk about the scopes. If you want to use these on private repositories, the token must have the whole repo scope. However, for public repos, the token just needs to have the public_repo and the security event scopes. Let's scroll down and generate token. Make sure to copy the token because you will not be able to retrieve it after the fact. Let's move back to Azure DevOps. And here we need to save the path as a variable in the pipeline. Variables, new variable, let's call it GitHub_path, and let's pass the value of the access token. And let's make it a secret, so no one will be able to retrieve it and use it without our consent. This of course works, but I'd recommend you to use Azure Key Vault, save the path in there, and then reference it into Azure Pipelines. Let's save it, and there we go. Now that we have our GitHub personal access token saved in Azure Pipelines, we can initialize CodeQL and start the scan. But before we do so, hit the like button below if you're enjoying this video or you find it insightful. It will help the channel growing and it will mean the world to me. Alright, let's initialize the CodeQL executable and create the CodeQL database for the language detected. Once again, we need to add a script step to our workflow to do so. Let's analyze this script. The first line is just a command, the CodeQL runner Linux init. Then we need to pass some parameters. The first parameter is just the GitHub repo we're gonna scan. Then we can specify the URL of the GitHub instance, and this could be the github.com, or if you're using the GitHub Enterprise server, your server URL. Third one is the personal access token that we just created. And last one is something that you may or may not use and allows you to specify a config file to change the behavior of your scan, whether you want to include or exclude some specific path or specify additional queries. Finally, I want to populate the CodeQL runner database, analyze the code, and then upload the results to GitHub. Let's add the final script. Once again, we are invoking the command and we pass the repo, the URL, and the personal access token as we did before. But here we have two more parameters. The first one is the SHA of the commit we want to analyze. Since I want to analyze the one that triggered this build, I can use the build.sourceVersion variable here in Azure DevOps, which basically represent the SHA of the commit that triggered the build. Last thing, we need to specify the ref, which basically is the branch that we want to analyze. Since I want to analyze the code in the branch that triggered this pipeline, I can use the build.sourceBranch variable here in Azure DevOps. Alright, let's save and run this pipeline. If successful, you should be able to navigate back to your repository security tab under Code Scanning to view the results of your scan. We can see that it has already downloaded the latest CodeQL package, and now it's initializing the CodeQL executable and creating a CodeQL database. The initialization phase is completed, and now CodeQL is actually populating the databases and analyzing them, and when it will be done, it will upload the results to GitHub. We can see that in this moment is analyzing the queries that he has in cache, and now it's starting evaluating those queries against our code base. And now it's done. As you can see, it took a little bit more than 1.5 minutes to analyze our code, and if you put all together, including the initialization and the download, it's a little bit more than 2 minutes. And this is for a fairly small code base, so if your project is bigger, expect higher times. Now that we have completed this, let's go back to GitHub, and we can immediately see that we do have one security alert. If we go inside, we can see that this comes from the code scanning alert on the CodeQL side, and we have this alert over here for unvalidated dynamic method call on this file. And of course, since this is a normal code scanning, we can go in and see all the details about this vulnerability. The code of this example was written in Node.js, so no compilation was necessary. However, if you want to analyze a compiled language like .NET or Java, remember to execute the build after the init step, but before the analyze step. The init step, in fact, will create a script that you would need to execute before the build for CodeQL to be able to monitor the build as well. Alright, that's it for today. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this experience. For me, it would of course be better if we can have some native Azure Pipelines tasks for CodeQL instead of having to write shell scripts, but I think this works pretty well as well. To scan your code set up your workflow, or if finding it insightful. Thanks so much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I see you in the next video here at CoderDave.